Hey, folks, here we are again. Disney's getting sued again. And I can't believe I'm saying that for the third or fourth time in the last couple of weeks. And this one's huge. The monetary damages here are ridiculous. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So, my fellow Culturians, sit back, grab a snack, because this one is going to be a doozy. And I'll try to make it as brief as possible. Legal brief. Get it? Anyway, just a quick reminder, I am sponsored by myself. Beachpunk.us is my website where you can pick up all kinds of merchandise. We have some exclusive stuff going in there right now for the meetups in both Dallas and, of course, the one coming up here shortly in Las Vegas. And we will even have sign up sheets for some gear so you can buy it in advance and we'll have it for you right at the meetup. So you won't have to wait for it. So that'll be pretty cool. But I want to cover this story. It's very, very important, of course. And it's something that, well, both Dominic Patton and Dade Hayes put together over on Deadline. And of course, the headline says it all. Game on. Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Fox are being pummeled by Fubo TV with an antitrust suit over the proposed sports mega streaming package that we just heard about. Now, does this surprise me? No, Fubo TV wasn't super thrilled about this when they heard about it, and we talked about that, I believe, on a 6 minute daily. But this this is huge. This is huge. I can't even believe it. And Bob's looking super sad down there. He's got some tears, and for good reason. So the planned sports streamer team up between Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Fox may be stuck at the starting line, especially if Fubo TV gets its way. I'm looking at billions billions in damages. Looks like the opening statement here is rough. You're going to look at it. It says, for decades, defendants have leveraged their iron grip on sports content to extract billions of dollars in a super competitive profits from distributors and consumers. Well, there's no denying that. Defendants earned many of these profits by bundling their commercially critical sports content with other less desirable content. We're looking at you, Disney, forcing sports fans to purchase channels they did not want. This is specifically targeting ESPN, who's also named in this suit along with Hulu. Woohoo! So I have the link to the suit. We'll go to it directly in a moment. But Fubo TV not only wants cash from its rivals, current and potentially future, but they want to uh, they want to whole proposed sports streamer venture shut down by court order. I think this could actually happen. If they can't get that, Fubu are seeking significant restrictions on the new streamer to keep ever escalating sports license prices within competitive reach. And that's the whole problem. Now, everybody's going to want to, increase the value of whatever they own. So you have all these sports like the NBA, the NFL, of course, baseball, and even hockey here in the United States. Now, around the globe, of course, you have cricket and football, which we call soccer here in the States, and several other things like golf and tennis, right? But those sports are quite lucrative. The NFL is huge here in the States, and those rights are incredibly valuable. They're so valuable, in fact, that the different entities that own them actually had to divide them up. And you even have like a super package called Prime Ticket that's actually over with YouTube now, I believe. Not to mention the Thursday games, which I think used to be Yahoo, but are now over on Amazon. So these are valuable rights. And they've only been going up in price at ridiculous rates because of the lack of competition that's been allowed. Now, um, back to the case, it says, and once they've combined forces, defendants' incentive to exclude Fubo and other rivals will only increase. If not stopped, defendants will substantially increase defendants' incentives, both individually and collectively, to deny access and or charge higher content prices to third-party distributors that depend on access to the defendants must have sports channels. This irrevocably, reducing competition in the market and harming consumers. They had to do it's partially redacted. My goodness, I wonder why. Probably because they're naming names, especially of people that have given them information that they don't want out there in the general public. So on February 6th, ESPN owners and Hulu co-owners Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery announced plans for a bundled service that would feature linear feeds spanning some 14 networks and a bit more than half of all sports rights in the US. Woohoo! Each company will own one third of the joint venture, whose name, pricing, and other details remain murky. We still don't have a price on that. I would estimate it's going to be like $50 a month or something, at least. One thing we do know is that the all powerful and well watched NFL will not be a big part of the streamer's new offering, if at all. Yeah, because they were a little irritated, as I reported in a story last week, about the fact that they got hit in the face with this without even knowing it was coming. And they're interested in picking up like a fraction of ESPN as like a partner. I think they probably were scratching their head and their chin at that one. But anyway, uh, so, because the new business is carrying linear feeds of the networks, which also remain available via other means, including on Fubo, however you want to say it, sources familiar with the enterprise have said they believe it is not vulnerable to regulatory antitrust scrutiny. I don't think that's the case. You have some smart people in the room, and this has billions of dollars involved. In fact, the DOJ, here we go, has already said it'll be putting its antitrust goggles, putting on its antitrust goggles to give the venture a closer look. And now Fubu have tackled the whole idea of what they see as a rigged match. There's no denying this. There's no denying this. I imagine that this story, which is they say was first reported on the Wall Street Journal, has basically look, this is the real deal. It's just a plainer way to say it. So we're going to take a look at this lawsuit. I clicked on it there. You can see. Let's take a look at it in its entirety, or well, at least some of it anyway. So obviously, this is Deadline's copy. I have to give them full credit. So I'm not sure why they decided to watermark this. Anybody could download this. Anyway, so from Deadline, thank you, Deadline. They say the defendant television conglomerates have long been engaged in multifaceted campaign to frustrate Fubo's innovative, sports first streaming business, resulting in the extreme suppression of competition in the U.S. sports focused streaming market and significant harm to both Fubo and consumers. The campaign includes first using their power over commercially critical sports content to force Fubo uh, to uh, to broadcast unwanted, expensive content that prevents Fubo from offering sports-centric package of channels that its customers want. Second, imposing artificial above-market prices and other economic terms on Fubo through a web of most favored nation clauses in their contracts with Fubo's competitors. Third, and most recently, assuring this campaign would culminate in the total freeze out by announcing a joint venture that will combine rights to most commercially critical sports content in a single entity, which will only increase participants' incentives not to make the necessary content available to Fubo and others. Okay. Honestly, that's really the crux of really what we needed to cover here. And there is merit to this. I am not a lawyer, guys, and I know most of you, not all of you, know that. But from my layman's point of view, just and just basic, critical thinking, I would say that this has some merit. Whether or not it has enough legal merit to pass muster is something else entirely. But they spent a lot of money to drop this. They paid a lot of people, a lot of lawyers, a lot of fees. Disney has a bunch of lawyers on retainer. Obviously, some of them are not qualified to engage in certain kinds of law because they obviously had a huge loss recently at the federal level, in fact. But they do employ a lot of lawyer mice. And I will tell you that those guys are getting paid. If anybody's getting paid in this whole situation over the course of the last few weeks, as I've been reporting every time Disney gets sued, those folks are making a boatload of money. So good for them. I don't know. This venture is rather dangerous to competition, which is what antitrust is all about. you are eliminating uh, your competitors and engaging in monopolistic practices. And I've been talking about this since I think all the way back when I first started doing my initial coverage on YouTube about entities doing monopolistic. Oh my goodness, monopolistic things. Words are hard, uh, doing that and really making it impossible for competitors, which is you can't do. I mean, if you have one product and you're the only person, you invented the product, you're the only person that makes it, that's one thing. But if you are a person who essentially is part of a larger group of people that's colluding, that's another word that needs to be brought up here. You're colluding to keep your competitors out. That's something else entirely. And I would venture to say, at the risk of repeating myself, that not only do they have a case, they have a shot at billions of dollars. There have been real damages, not just experienced by obviously Fubo or Fubu or however you want to say that, but also that's probably Fubo. Anyway, by them. There are other people who've been harmed for a long time by this collective practice of these particular entities. Because make no mistake about it, this has been done in this way for a long time. Just ask the cable distributors like Spectrum, or maybe even Comcast's, their various services. I would imagine that they also are going to have a case, which is going to be awkward because Comcast does control some NFL rights and some other sporting rights. I just don't know to what extent they could be brought into this because this specifically with all these entities again colluding to bring all of the sports into one location. I think that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. I want to know yours. So let me know what you think down in the comments section below. There is a lot to talk about here. You can tell me I'm wrong. A lot of people, when it comes to, well, almost everything, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. It's important that I know what your thoughts are, know if I need to keep pursuing this. Just let me know that down below. Also, double check, make sure you hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, like 40% of you out there, please this time please subscribe because hey, there's 40% of you that haven't. If we just took a few of you in, we could get well past our goal of ending the month over 20K. That would be extraordinary, and I would have you to thank. So thanks in advance. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.